And good morning, evening, or afternoon, depending on what part of the globe you're on and what time zone you are in. I'm your host, Skeptically Speaking.
And I'm Sweet Pea from across the pond.
And what a lovely show we have for you today. We thank you so much for seeking us out and finding us in all the lowly places, back alleys, and dark corners. But there are other darker places. You can also find us on TikTok, Blue Sky, Discord, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Substack, as well as Upscroll, also known affectionately as Up Yours TikTok. May they replace the need for TikTok quickly. But if you want more independent media in your life, please consider supporting the show. You can do that one in 3 ways: Cash App, Venmo, or become a patron subscriber. Every little bit helps, and we love to do this full time. How are you, Sweet Pea?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing today, Skeptically?
I'm okay. Could be better. But that's okay. We're here. I'm hearing good news.
I tried.
Go ahead.
I was going to bore you and the audience with telling you I tried a McGriddle for the first time.
And how'd it go?
Well, first of all, I didn't realise that the buns would be made out of pancakes and I would actually be made to touch pancakes, for one. Secondly, I didn't realise that there would be golden syrup already on it.
Oh yeah, so they cook it into the
I did not realize that.
So
I did not realize that. I put ketchup on it.
Okay. Interestingly enough.
Yeah.
I didn't think ever that ketchup and syrup, once they touch, would go together.
They actually do. And I think that's what disgusts me the most. They actually do go together. And I kind of liked it. And I'm disgusted with myself.
Isn't that weird?
It is. Because the thing is, right, so the golden
because I've
syrup
done that. I've had a full plated breakfast, hash browns or, whatever. And then you've got pancakes and your meat sausage. And I put syrup on the meat, ketchup for the eggs. Scrambled eggs. And sometimes they mix with each other and it's like, they're on the same fork.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but
they're going together now.
It is. And the golden syrup brings out the sweetness of the ketchup. It does. I'm sad to say it does blend well. Food critics may come for me.
Yeah.
The food police may arrest me. I felt like I'd done a cardinal sin earlier, but it actually blended together because, the pancakes go well with bringing out the niceness of, the sweetness of, the pancakes, and then you've got the ketchup, then, for the hash brown, the eggs, and the meat. But it actually does blend together. But I personally don't like the feeling of having to hold a squishy pancakes as a bun. That's just.
But
otherwise, it was quite all right. I know. Otherwise, it was all right. But other than that. So, what are your thoughts on it then?
Well, I mean, can't go back now. It's too late. Breakfast has already been enjoyed. Shame on you. But now, it's...
Happy Chocolate Day.
As I enjoy my pink lemonade and vodka.
I'm going to have an Easter egg iced coffee.
Is that looks like a shamrock shake?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
I tried one of those toothpaste shakes before. I'm not in. To the
It's too.
Shamrock Shake. Yeah, I done a whole thing on my TikTok about how it tastes like
Oh, yeah, vaguely.
toothpaste. Yeah, no, this is a mini egg frappe.
Hmm.
A mini egg frappe. I can get down with that.
Okay. I'm afraid to ask what's in it, but I better not.
Mini chocolate eggs, coffee, bit of ice cream, and then it's like all frothed up into like a milkshake coffee, ice coffee type situation. I just know it's nice, and I'm going to stick to that.
Okay. You enjoy that. Speaking of people who should be in prison, Trump is going to be revamping Alcatraz Island. And I think maybe this could be an idea for people who eat weird things and drink weird things. Maybe they should consider a one-way trip to the island and make themselves at home. Anyway, no.
I didn't really spit that at you. I didn't really blow that at you. You didn't see that, okay?
Right. Anywho, so the fuckwit in chief, the syphilitic Sid, the Swiss cheese brained moron, he wants money. He's going to raise a lot of money to bring back Alcatraz because nothing says I've learned nothing from history. I've learned nothing from anything. Then, you know what? Let's reopen Alcatraz as a functioning prison system. Because if anybody remembers the conditions of the prison system before they shut it down, it was going to cost more money than it was worth to keep open, which is why they closed it down in the first place. The saltwater, the saltwater conditions deteriorated everything, and they had already I think this was built in like the early 19. It first was like a military installation, and then in the 20s they decided, let's make it a penal colony. And then by the 30s, I think it was like a full functioning prison. Al Capone, I think, was one of the big time. So by the 1960s, 50s and 60s, it was dilapidated. It was just downhill. That they too many rights abuses, human rights abuses took place there because it was isolated. People could get away with almost murder because who's going to believe the word of a prisoner?
Yeah, they built Alcatraz between 1910 and 1912.
The prison?
Yes, Alcatraz, yes.
Damn, I was a decade off. Well, not bad. Could have been worse. But yeah, I mean, they're like, this is human rights abuses, the deterioration. I mean, all that aside, it's going to cost money to basically tear it down and start over. So they're like, you know what? Let's just move the prisoners inland and just let this sit. And then eventually it became a tourist attraction. Now the big-brained moron has decided, oh, I know, let's get it functioning again and let's put our political enemies there. So, yeah. Al Capone. Trump wants $150 million to rebuild and reopen Alcatraz as a secure prison, and I gotta say, $152 million. That's it.
No, That's
going to cover the first. According to this article, it's going to cover the first year if you're lucky.
No, that's not even going to cover the first week because the amount of repairs that will need to be done, the amount of things that would need to replace, not to mention the total amount of how much it would actually cost to run it and the rise in prices of gas. That prison is literally would be too expensive to run, let alone get up and running so it is of a decent quality to actually keep human people in there. You know, that's the cost is going to be astronomical, and Trump cannot afford to get this prison up and running. He has shut down so many public funded things that he shouldn't have done. He has closed down private branches of government that he had no business shutting down. He has taken funding out of things that were a necessity to fund a ballroom, even though he's saying it's privately donated. I do not believe him whatsoever. If that was privately donated to, where the hell has the people's money gone, and why doesn't he have enough money to do public funded projects? Why does he need to keep shutting things down to revert monies? Because he is literally obliterated the country's economy, along with like
Putting it lightly. Let's go ahead.
Nest egg. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into this article. This is coming from CNN 3 days ago. So as far as I know, Donald Trump is seeking $152 million to cover the first year of costs to reopen the infamous Alcatraz Prison as a secure facility. The funds requested as part of the White House budget blueprint would be a part of a $1.7 billion proposed boost to the Federal Bureau of Prisons to improve pay and working conditions in hope of ending a long-standing correctional officer shortage. Yeah. And the White House released the budget proposal on Friday. It amounts to a funding wish list that is rarely enacted in full by Congress, but it provides insight into an administration's priorities. Yeah, because we don't have money for child hunger. We don't have money to get the homeless off the streets and into good living conditions. But we have money to open up more prisons. We know the priorities of this drunken clown car posse administration. Now, a major historical landmark and destination for roughly 1.2 million tourists annually. Jesus, the notorious prison closed more than 60 years ago due to its crumbling infrastructure and high maintenance cost. At the time, it would have cost an estimated $3 million to $5 million just for restoration and maintenance work to keep the prisons open, not including daily operating costs. Now, 60 years ago, 3 to 5 million, that was closer to $1 billion than it is. Well, anyway, asked for the total cost to restore the facility, the Bureau of Prisons told CNN, as an agency, we are moving forward, evaluating and formulating the actions necessary to reopen and operate USP Alcatraz. So they didn't answer the question. What is the total cost? And what did they say? Oh, well, we're just going to move forward and we're going to do everything necessary to open and operate it. Basically, what they're saying is the cost be damned. We're rebuilding it. So rebuilding and reopening it as an active facility has been an ongoing interest in the president's. Last May, Trump said in a social media post that he was directing the Bureau of Prisons together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Huh.
But it costs. Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, but Alcatraz at the time when it was running cost nearly 3 times more per capita than any other federal faculty at the time. Considering how much gas prices and other cost of living things have gone up, that prison's going to be too astronomical to afford to reopen.
You know what I say? I say go through with this. Be careful what you wish for, because I can't think of a better place to put Trump, his criminal family, and all the ICE agents and his administration. I cannot think of a better place to house the Trump crime family, the Trump crime administration. I can't think of a better place to put them. And let's just put them all together on an island. Perfect.
I have a question. What did Alcatraz the island do so bad to deserve Trump and his whole load of clown posse living there?
It was there.
Poor island.
Yep. I feel sorry for all the wildlife that has made themselves at home there.
Is it a case of, welp, you're going to have to take one for the team?
Yep. Reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. Trump posted on Truth Social. U.S. Bureau of Prisons Director William K. Marshall III, what a pretentious fuck, said at the time that his agency would pursue all avenues to implement the president's plan for reopening, just like a good little toady. Alcatraz, located on an island off the San Francisco coast, operated as a federal penitentiary for nearly 30 years and housed some of the most dangerous criminals in the country, including Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and James Whitey Bulger. James Bulger? When did he get sent over there? James Whitey Bulger? He was arrested in the early 2000s. Okay. I think they've got that name wrong. I don't think James Whitey Bulger was there. It closed in 1963 because the institution was too expensive to continue operating, according to the Bureau of Prisons website. Yeah. Oh, the Birdman of Alcatraz. I saw the Burt Lancaster movie based on him. Yeah. Yeah, but Whitey Bulger, James Whitey Bulger was an FBI informant going back to the 70s, 80s, and through the 90s. Yeah. Unless I got the name
They've got
wrong.
him down. They've got him down as a future Irish mob Boston boss who spent a lot of time at Alcatraz during his long criminal career.
Really?
I know. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, all right. Maybe I'm off. I didn't think he was active in 63, but alrighty. What do I know? Maybe I'm thinking of another Whitey Bulger. I've been wrong before. Guess what? I'll be wrong again. Bulger? Yeah. Everything had to be brought in, including water. The island had no source of fresh water. Yeah. Can you imagine? Depending on water that had to be imported in? Alcatraz could hold maybe a maximum of 336 prisoners. The max it ever held was 302. That's interesting. The Bureau of Prisons estimated in 2024 that the cost per person was $47,000. $47,000 per inmate. So, yeah, so somebody says, okay, so he wants 400 million for a ballroom. He wants to cut 500 million from vaccine development. He has cost more than 100 million for golf. And he wants 152 million for a prison. But last year, Trump said he would not touch Medicare, Medicaid, or Social Security. Just yesterday, he said it's not possible for the U.S. to pay for Medicaid, Medicare, and daycare. Because why? We're fighting wars. We're fighting wars. Unbelievable. Yep. So this is where we're headed, folks. This is what happens when you allow white supremacy to direct your actions and influence your decision making. They're already urging J.D. Vance, the spineless toady, to invoke the 25th Amendment against Trump. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
So Alcatraz has only got a maximum capacity of 336. Yet they managed to fit like 1,576 men into Alcatraz. That must have been awful uncomfortable, fitting that amount of people in a facility that only has 336 beds.
Yep.
That is like a glorified hotel, sorry. With the bed space, I mean, not a prison, because a prison has more, has beds per, the bed per inmate. That's a nightmare, that is. I don't think it's feasible to get that up and running again, to be honest, let alone to maintain it running. Do you think?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean, it's already been proven it's going to be a money pit to actually run the damn thing. Who knows? They'll probably think of something stupid like, let's do underwater cables. Maybe they'll do that for water, natural gas, electricity.
Maybe Trump can play a game with the sharks. See how fast he can swim up to them, go and swim back without getting bitten.
Yeah, put them on a dinghy. Well,
Yep.
Let's switch gears here because ICE arrests a newlywed wife of an army soldier at a military base. This was 7 hours ago. This was reported. This is going to be ABC News. By the way, all links, news articles will be in the show notes to read at your pleasure or displeasure. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents arrested the wife of a U.S. Army staff sergeant at a military base where he is stationed just days after the couple married, an attorney representing the family told ABC News. On April 2nd, Sergeant Matthew Blank, 23, and his wife, Annie Ramos, were joined by relatives at Fort Polk, Louisiana, who were there to help register Ramos as a military spouse and get her moved in. Blank's mother, Jen Rickling, told ABC News, but soon ICE agents entered the facility and detained Ramos. I never imagined that trying to do the right thing, registering my wife so she could receive her military ID, access the benefits she's entitled to as my spouse, and begin the process toward her green card would lead to her being taken away from me. Instead of preparing for our future together, I'm now fighting for her freedom. Yeah. And the Army overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Yeah. So you, Matthew, Sergeant Matthew Blank, if you voted for Trump, you better hope the fuck you didn't. But if you did, you voted for this. Well, I didn't think it would happen to me. Yeah. Attorney Jesse Schreier said Ramos, who was born in Honduras, was 20 months old when she was issued order of removal. 20 months old. Typically, undocumented immigrants are eligible for a green card. Relatives of military service members may also be eligible for additional forms of relief. Annie Ramos is currently detained by enforcement of a removal order issued in 2005 when she was 20 months old. At any moment, that order may be executed, resulting in her deportation to a country she has never known. Annie's deportation would tragically separate her from her husband and U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Matthew Blank, who's preparing for the possibility of his third overseas deployment. You know what? This is callous, but this needs to continue to happen. This needs to continue to happen because we're not awake yet. More service members need to go through this. That is the worst fitting uniform. My fucking God. Well, too bad. Yeah, this is the thanks he gets. Let's see if I can enlarge that. Damn it. Come on now. Okay, here we go. Boom. I mean, I'm sorry. This guy looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume. I'll just call this Ramos. Yeah, just to give you an idea. Boom. There it is. I mean, I'm sorry. It looks like he's wearing Big Brother's clothes as a joke. I'm sorry. That is a tragically fit uniform. That is an embarrassment. I'm sorry. I cannot believe he was allowed to walk on the base with this kind of rumple.
Something's it looks like when the army met the navy. It's like the top says the sort of navy, the bottoms are screaming the army. That doesn't look like it mixes.
Yeah, I mean that is just a terrible, terrible look. I mean, I can't believe that they have not fit him properly because there are requirements. Your uniform is fit to you specifically. They want you crisp cut. I have seen first year Navy recruits looking better than this.
He looks like he's wearing a pair of tracksuit bottoms.
It's just, oh God, that's embarrassing. But that's the American military for you. We are a worldwide embarrassment. Yes, we are. That's what we do. We embarrass ourselves all across the globe in the way we look, in the way we present ourselves, and then the way we act. The U.S. military has become an abomination. I don't give a fuck. It's really sad. So, yeah, this needs to happen more often. I think if enough service members get hit, they'll start to wake up and realize, oh, Trumpism and fascism and Nazism, they're not our friends. We shouldn't be doing this. Oh no. I mean, this guy is a thumb with clothes on. Ramos. Jesus Christ. No, he's Army. I think he's a Green Beret. Let me see. U.S. Army Staff Sergeant. No, he's Staff Sergeant in the Army, so he's not Special Forces. My God. Wow. He married up. Let's just put it that way. Holy fucking shitballs. That is an embarrassment.
He doesn't even have the correct trousers on.
Well, I'm not saying the trousers are incorrect.
Well, actually, the trousers are correct. What I mean is the fitting is not correct.
No, it is not. It should be crisp.
They look
right down, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't rumple at his feet. They're supposed to fit in a certain way. I cannot believe they let him take pictures like this. This is a
Let me show you
bad
what
look for the Army.
correctly. I'm gonna download and send you a picture to
Sure.
the show.
I'm going to finish this article while you're doing that.
Yes.
So Annie Ramos got a removal order for 2005, and it was never enforced, I guess. And now that she's 22, 23, she has no connection to Honduras. None. And they're just going to send her back. Ramos is eligible for a deferred action for childhood arrivals and applied, but the program remains halted for new applicants after a year-long battle in court that challenges the program. Ramos received a scholarship from the Dream US, which helps undocumented youth pay for school. Detaining a 22-year-old biochemistry student who has lived here for 2 decades and is married to a U.S. Army Staff Sergeant preparing for deployment doesn't make us safer. It weakens a military family, undermines our basic values. What are our basic values? Please explain that to me. Anyway, let's move on. And exposes how far we've fallen as a nation. Annie Ramos should be released from detention and returned to her family and our country and our president. Gabby Pacheco, president of the CEO of the Dreams.us, said in a statement. Okay. I mean, great, I guess. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said Ramos was arrested after she attempted to enter a military base. She has no legal status to be in this country and was issued a final order of removal by a judge. This administration is not going to ignore the rule of law. She illegally crossed the southern border and she illegally crossed the border at 20 months and entered the U.S. in February 2005. After she failed to show up for her immigration hearing, she was issued a final order of removal by a judge in 2005. The DHS spokesman said, "You fucking idiot. You're talking to her as if she was an adult. She was 20 months. She was a year and some change." 20 months. Okay, so almost 2. What the fuck? She illegally crossed the border. Do you understand how crazy you have to be to utter a statement like that? Isn't Rickling, I guess the father, said Ramos is everything you would hope for in a daughter-in-law. She's kind, smart, and dedicated. She teaches Sunday school. Oh, she's finishing her degree and she loves my son with her whole heart. We absolutely adore her. Rickling, who did you vote for? I'm curious. Who did you vote for? Listen to what he says. And this is going to be the crux. I believe in this country. And I believe we can do better than this for Annie and for other military families and for the values we hold dear. My son and my daughter-in-law should be able to build their lives together in a nation that my son is so committed to serving. Okay, what about all the others that have been illegally targeted by this administration? What about them? I believe in this country. What country? What country are you talking about? MAGA country? Run by a tin horn despot? Run by a syphilitic fucking asshole? That is who you believe in? Oh, here's another link to another article. Deaths of detainees in ICE custody surge under second Trump administration. Ramos is currently detained in an ICE facility in Basile, Louisiana. Blank said he'll continue to fight for his wife's release. Listen to these words. I am proud to serve this country. I'm proud to be her husband. I will stand by her no matter what it takes. I'm proud to serve this country. Okay. This family screams MAGA. Listening to the daughter talk, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't hear this father upset at all the other detainees. How about all the underage girls, children who are being raped while in custody in an ICE facility down in Texas? What about them? Not one word of concern about them. These people are MAGA. I'm telling you, I welcome the chance to be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think I am. These people are MAGA. And let's see. What am I looking at?
Yes, I sent you a picture and to say that they're well fitting.
Okay. All right. Let's now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you how a uniform should look. I mean, I think the color coding scheme needs to change. The blues clash. We're gonna call this proper fit.
Definite proper fit, and there was a few different samples that I was looking at to make sure how tightly fitted they were, and I can say they're well fitted. Well fitted.
Now, take this guy, for example. You see the difference? You see how those pants come down?
There was a back picture as well.
They don't rumple. They rumple a little bit, but they're not so severe. Now, look at that and take a look at that. That is fucking disgraceful. That is just fucking...
He looks like he's got a bin bag on. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, like he's wearing... I mean, that's... Come on. Have a little bit more pride. Self-respect. God damn. I'm tired of looking at him. Go away. But yeah, this is it. I mean, I think this needs to happen more often. Because I don't think we're going to wake up to the despotism, to the absolute erasure of human rights in this country, as we've seen in a long ass time. Or is it because we white Americans have been so disassociated from what's been actually going on, we just haven't really noticed it. Black people have been going through it. Let's just be so for real. They've experienced inhumane treatment and the dissolution of human rights. They know what it's like to be treated like third-rate citizens. Good. This needs to happen more often. I don't see how we're gonna awake it when enough people are going through it, when enough people are experiencing. Oh well, I didn't expect it was gonna happen to me. Ooh, yeah, it can happen to you. Surprise! You didn't think that was gonna happen to you, but now it is. Let's move on. I'm bored. A January 6er says he's resigned from DOJ advisory job after failing to expose abuses. Okay. Former FBI agent who was hired by the Department of Justice after participating in the 2021 insurrection says he has resigned from the federal agency due to his inability to fully expose governmental abuses from the inside. Jared Lane Wise, who took a job as counselor to Justice Department pardon attorney Ed Martin Jr. last July, said he handed in his resignation on Thursday. I returned to Washington to fully expose the abuses by the FBI and DOJ against January 6 defendants, but it became clear that this will only happen from outside of government. Oh, really? So I left and will do so. Okay. So he basically what he's saying is he doesn't have a leg to stand on. The FBI and the DOJ don't have anything against whatever happened to January 6 defendants who were properly detained, arrested, processed, and jailed for their crimes. And this guy who participated in the insurrection wanted to work with DOJ and FBI, and then he realizes, oh, there's no avenue to punish our political enemies, so it's going to have to be done outside of government. So where is he going, I wonder? Wise was charged with breaching the Capitol during the violence and repeatedly shouted, "Kill him," as he watched rioters assault officers outside the building, according to an FBI agent's affidavit. He was one of nearly 1,600 participants who were ultimately pardoned by President Donald Trump last year. Representatives with the DOJ and Martin's office did not immediately respond to HuffPost's request for comment on Friday. Wise had been hired as an advisor to Martin, who at the time was overseeing an investigation into Trump's claim of anti-conservative bias within the DOJ during the Biden administration. They found no evidence, and so therefore there was no prosecution going forward. Pam Bondi, who was ousted from her role as Attorney General on the same day as Wise claimed resignation, had last year called for creating a so-called weaponization working group within her office. This group was meant to identify instances where federal government or agency within the prior 4 years tried to achieve political objectives or other improper aims rather than pursuing justice or legitimate government objectives. So he wanted to spend all his time going after anybody who had anything to do with prosecuting January 6th crimes. The group was directed to provide the White House with quarterly reports on its progress. It wasn't immediately clear where the group stands today and what revelations it presented to Trump, though Bondi had been publicly chastised by Trump for failing to successfully prosecute his political foes. Martin was quietly removed from overseeing the investigation or the investigative group in February, though no reason was given. A person familiar with the matter told the Associated Press that the group under his leadership was not making much progress. Well, yeah, because he's an unserious person. So they decided, yeah, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but we can't use you.
Speaking of false claims, did you hear all the false claims yesterday about Trump being dead?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be bullshit, but I just like, you know what? I've got a weekend to get through. I have no desire to.
Do you know who jumped to the defense of all the not only Democrats but like other people saying about that Trump has died. You never guess who jumped to their defense.
Who?
Alex Jones. Saying people should stop being upset is obvious they're just joking. I never thought Alex Jones would jump to people's.
Yeah. Well, Alex Jones is another one of those fucking morons.
He is. There is a doctor, though, a medical expert, Dr. Vin Gupta, saying that Trump's illness is all the dire warning signs to having dementia. I think we could have told Dr. Gupta this. For a couple of years now, Trump has been exhibiting these worrisome symptoms.
Yeah. I mean, who has time? I just don't have time for bullshit and conspiracy theories. I really don't. You know, it wastes time. You know?
So, do you think Trump will follow through with his threat to bomb power plants in Iran?
Oh, wouldn't surprise me.
Why is Vance in Budapest?
Who?
Dance Vance. Why is he in Budapest? Is he trying to find inner peace for all the stuff he's done?
Who can say? Who can say I've given up trying to I've given up figuring out what their plans are, what they're divining, what they're going to do. Well, here's a story for you. So, help me if you have heard this one. Howard Stern and his wife are being sued by an ex-employee for hostile work environment. I mean, come on. When has the Howard Stern show not been a hostile work environment? I'm sorry. I remember seeing clips of that show from the 80s and early 90s. I mean, Howard Stern was notorious for treating his staff like shit. I mean, he would literally put him on camera and embarrass them in front of the entire world if they didn't do certain things his way or in a timely manner. And his audience just ate it up. They're like, ooh, this is like before Maga. But his followers would have been the MAGA movement of today because they get off on this cruelty and just being absolute mean and just breaking people down. They just enjoy it. They love it. That's why the same people watched Gordon Ramsay act like a total fuckwit on his show, yelling and screaming at people. They just enjoyed it. They loved it. People get off on that. So Shock Jock and his longtime wife, Beth Ostrowski Stern, are facing a new lawsuit from former assistant Leslie Kuhn, who is suing the couple on allegations of a hostile work environment, according to court documents obtained by USA Today. I didn't know Mrs. Stern worked with Howard. I didn't know she worked on the show. Okay. Kuhn, who worked as an office manager on the Howard Stern show before becoming Howard and Beth Stern's live-in assistant. Live-in? Oh. Filed the complaint in New York County Supreme Court on April 5th. The Howard Stern Production Company and Stern's Production Company 112 Incorporated are also listed as defendants in the case. The ex-staffer also alleges that a pair of non-disclosure agreements purportedly signed by Kuhn preventing her from disclosing personal details about the radio personality were fraudulently signed. Kuhn fully intends to disclose details concerning the facts surrounding her employment by Beth Stern, and 112, and termination of that employment as necessary to address the accusations made against her and to protect her reputation and future employment prospects. Okay. So not only was she fired, it looks like the Stearns decided to go off on a character assassination, whatever the fuck.
It sounds like their love triangle went sour.
Wow.
Like, working for people I can understand, but why is she being a live-in assistant? What is she assisting with? There's only one thing that I can. There's only one thing that I can think of that she would be a live-in assistant for. I mean, is she aiding them in the bedroom? Is she adding a little spice back to their life?
No, I doubt that. But I think I think they were expecting her to be their personal servant. Think of The Devil Wears Prada, but instead of working in an office, you're working in their house, in their home. Holy shitballs. The following year, Kuhn was promoted. Kuhn was promoted by Howard Stern's 112 Incorporated to the radio DJ's executive assistant, a role that would require her to move into Howard and Beth Stern's Ocean View residence, a mansion located in Southampton, New York, the complaint said. In addition to her work for Stern, Kuhn claims in the lawsuit that Beth Stern requested her assistance in managing the staff of the mansion, setting staffing schedules, completing staff payroll, managing general household operations, including Beth Stern's extensive at-home feline rescue and fostering operations. What the absolute fuck? Despite receiving notice of a raise for 2026 in December, Kuhn's complaint said she was fired by 112 around February. Kuhn said 112's Vice President of Finance, Mark DeGarten, terminated her due to alleged misconduct. Kuhn contends that her termination was the result of, among other things, a hostile work environment, an enablement of that hostile work environment, immense pressures on the household created by irresponsible and unattainable animal rescue and fostering operations occurring on site, and massively disorganized and questionable business operations and accounting practices. Oh. Howard Stern's ex-assistant pushes back against confidentiality agreements. Following her firing, Kuhn alleged that she received a separation agreement from Pryor Cashman LLP, a New York-based law firm that represented 112 Incorporated. The terms of the agreement, described by Kuhn's attorney as one-sided and non-mutual, contained several confidentiality and non-disclosure requirements that would prevent Kuhn from disclosing personal information, household information, charitable information, and business information. Kuhn was then allegedly presented with a 2022 confidentiality agreement that she reportedly signed with Stern before her employment began, which also stipulated the non-disclosure of Stern's personal information. Because of this, Pryor Cashman informed Kuhn that her agreement to the new separation agreement would have no additional or different legal effect. The former assistant refused to sign the separation agreement according to Kuhn's complaint on the grounds that confidentiality agreement was invalid from the beginning and therefore unenforceable. You talk about a mess. Kuhn's attorney states multiple times in the lawsuit that she never signed blah, 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 blah agreement as a term of her employment. The complaint noted that additional non disclosure agreement purportedly signed by Kuhn around last May was presented to Kuhn according to additional terms of confidentiality that extended to the personal affairs of individuals in any way associated with the company, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, she's going to have a book to sell after this. Holy shit. I'm sorry. These people are just a mess. I mean, they're having her do all of these things. One person said, "Oh, he's slowly becoming the thing he hated." Don Imus. A couple of elitists who seem to value cats.
She's not just going to have a book.
No surprise. Howie is adult. Okay, whatever. Yeah, well, there it is.
She's not just going to have a book. She's going to have a trilogy.
I mean, wait until disclosure. I mean, what's going to come out of this case is going to be everything. I mean, what a stupid way to go about things. You're giving her all this responsibility, and then all of a sudden you just terminate her as if do you realize what you've opened yourselves up to? Good luck. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting things come out at trial. Yikes. Well, I mean, it's just ugly inside and out. It's not.
That's what I mean. No, that's what I mean. Like, he was always an ugly person when he was younger because of his attitude and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And now, God, he's even uglier now is what I mean, not his appearance.
No, well,
his personality is ugly.
Yeah. I would say he's just an asshole with even more money. He's
repulsive.
Yeah.
His personality is repulsive.
And his wife has got to be even more so. Well, tell you what. I guess we'll find out. I know that aesthetic. Did you see that?
She does. I know. That's what I'm talking about. And I'd tell our audience because I was accidentally muted. I honestly think Howard Stern's wife looks like a Stepford wife, like that.
I mean, what is this?
Barbie prosthetic.
Yeah, this American doll. This American doll motif. I don't. Whatever. Yes, that's what we do here at the Skeptically Speaking podcast. We critique clothing, as you can see. We're just. I'm a terrible person. I will admit that.
I am too. I don't get what these toxic, manospherical fuckwits think is attractive about a woman who looks like a Barbie. It's completely fake, false, and unattractive. I suppose opposites attract, and I suppose they attract each other. So I think it's something only they can figure out. But I'm still trying to figure out what the attraction is, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't either.
And if that makes me very judgmental, then so be it. I'm being very judgmental of it.
Oh, and don't forget to take a gander at the unflattering photo of Leave It. Leave It the beaver, I guess. Yeah, this is the one they told, don't you dare show anybody this. This is just a terrible angle. This is not my season. So we're going to show this every chance we get.
I think it's more because she's wearing something that makes her look like the Pied Piper.
I guess, I don't know what, yeah. Their fashion choices are just fucking weird.
Abysmal.
Just
her fashion choices are abysmal. Her fit is diabolical.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we have today. Hope you enjoyed the show, but thank you. If you've stuck it out this long, we salute you. Your pain tolerance is high indeed.
Thank you for leaving comments on our videos. We will get back to you once we have reviewed them and sort of we will answer you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. And we'll wait for Skeptically to say the rest before I add anything else.
No, that's it. And if you liked what you heard, you want more independent media in your life, please consider supporting the show. Cash App, Venmo, or become a Patreon subscriber. Links are down in the description.
Feet pictures cost extra. That's what I was waiting for. We all hope you all have a happy Taco Tuesday.
And thank you.
Wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. Hide the scars to fade away. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to hide the scars to fade away with the shake-up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. I don't think you trust